What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and I'm currently getting my head ripped off from the Fed conference call here. I'm gonna share out this link here real fast to the Discord for the folks over there to join. This is while everyone's just joining in here. We can talk about different various plays, different other things going on in the market currently. It's been kind of a absolutely crazy week, last couple crazy days, especially for the futures market. As you can see, let me get my wonderful, awesome clip art out of the way. That we're currently looking at the Nasdaq Futures. We kind of shorted it right around, right above when the 5 and 8 kind of crossed over here, and potentially want to get down to the these little blue dots here. This is the VWAP line that's kind of been the overall support this whole day. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get down to that price target. We are seeing some pressure here around the 21 exponential moving average, trying to get more of that downward pressure, getting lower to see if we can continue to get lower prices. Again, 3 o'clock just started here in Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be where a lot more volume is going to come in. There's some more action and some potential higher prices, in the sense of people are going to be buying or shorting the market a lot more in the next next hour or so. So I'm just kind of keeping a very close eye on this while everyone just kind of joins in the chat. Again, if it's your first time here, don't forget to, if you brought a snack or not. I actually already ate my snack while I was watching Pal speak. I had a yogurt and a lemon custard yogurt. It was very good. Bernard, do you think scalping options premium? Yes, I think it's. I do it, but again, day trading is not really my thing. And if I do day trade, I like I told you, I really just do futures, and I do the micros. So I currently have a Nasdaq short going on. We want to kind of hit this little blue line down here, potentially break it. There is a lot of pressure coming in through. It's kind of not really going to be able to break out here, I believe. I'm looking for some lower prices. That being said, there, so especially if you're trying to scalp options, you're going to have to be very mindful of really buying the ones in the money, or even out of the right at the money, or even a little bit below it. So your timing is going to have to be on point, and you have to buy something that's extremely liquid. The guy with awesome investment. What do I think about the Fed? I just think they're trying to do his job. He's trying to do his job. Again, his mission on this planet, or for the United States, is literally not to have the overall markets just take a dump. And they're doing everything. They're pulling every switch. They're pulling every lever. They're pulling every button. And they're doing anything possible to do so. Yeah, Microsoft actually has been performing very well. That is actually good. Yeah, long term, yes. I don't know if you guys seen. I just did a video on looking at Tesla. We can look at that real fast here. So they got a really nice bid in today. Again, breaking that initial $1,000 price target that's been kind of looming for some time. Oh wow, it hit nearly 1020 there. That's absolutely awesome, honestly. As you can see, that I just did a video on some large options activity within Tesla today. We're looking for potentially, if this overall rally in the markets continue going higher, especially the Nasdaq has just been printing at pretty astronomical levels, looking for the price target around 1137, and again, it has been kind of getting really far up there, and it's kind of been deviating from a lot of its moving averages, just getting really far away from it. That could be a sign of potential just trading sideways, or it could be a potential of could be coming down lower. Again, right now it's just a gap up right now. The next 2 or 3 days we can kind of tell if it's going to be starting to get in a certain field of potentially trading sideways, or is it potentially to break up or break down from that initial look at there. What up, Makeshift Player? What up? Yeah, watching JPal too. Is he still just taking questions? I think he was just still taking questions when I kind of dipped off there. Yes, so let's look through here. And a couple other stocks, something that I did buy today actually. Some people always ask that, is I bought ServiceNow, and it's been really nice. It's up nearly $12 today, or nearly 3.32%. This is just to play onto the overall strength. It has a really beautiful volume oscillator setup here. The RSI is getting ready, looking to pop higher, as the same with the overall TTM squeeze here. That is just being kind of getting ready to pop off, looking for a pop higher. For this one, we can do the swing high to swing low. This is potentially going to get it's already gotten above $400, so that is quite significant. It's been a fairly steady move, and it really broke out the 172, looking for 430 potentially. This thing has literally, even though it's been during the pandemic and work from home stuff, it's just been a really strong performer. We're going to look for a potential moving target to around 432, and then we're going to be looking for a potential support. Level 1 is going to be around the 21 exponential moving average. It's going to be around the 376. Sorry, I'm reading two different numbers here. I'm looking at like the Nasdaq's taking off again. Blah. Shouldn't have shorted it. Look like, where is it at? Let's see if I can break out here. It's just been kind of trading sideways here. I think it's just kind of waiting for a potential pop higher. This could be the pop that we're looking for. The parabolic SARs are still on top of it. Looking for a, yeah, it's gonna continue going higher. I need to cover. Dumb Kenny. I don't like that. I don't like that activity. We'll see. I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes. Anyone have Hertz puts? Yeah, Hertz, I don't have it, puts, but it's kind of the same scenario of like, let's see what happens with these guys. It's definitely on my radar to watch, because again, like we talked about, it's coming down to a pretty key level. It's kind of hit that high of around 650-ish, and now it's kind of came down to the 21, and this is going to be a potential level of support, which is the key level is around the $2.63. Potentially, if this closes below it, that could be a trend change and could see potential lower prices in that. And for upside support, I'm not going to see too much there. One second, I got to get out of these Nasdaq shorts. I was an imbecile here. Let's get me out of here. Thank you. Take my money, leave me alone. I've never seen you again. Just popped off. So looking for, again, the downside, I have it around the 218 level, but we could see what happens there. We're looking at the 21 for overall support. Again, hitting that really much high, kind of in specs to the overall volume. You can kind of see all that volume coming in, peaking out on the high of the volume 2 days ago. Now just kind of coming lower on the potential of this movement. Let me go switch back to the Nasdaq real fast. I think this thing really just blew up. Yeah, it just did blow up. Yeah, this thing's climbing higher. See ya. The 250 has like 10,000 orders. Yeah. Again, what I think people don't understand with Hertz is that the company is still not able to make its debt. Like, there's no way they're able to pay their debt payments. and one of the first things that goes is the common share is going to be worthless. So it's basically the long-term debt and the stuff they can't pay is saying that Hertz's common stock is basically paper or just literally nothing due to the fact of this whole pop-up. Even this has nothing to do with anything. We can kind of look at, I don't know what month you're looking at, but I can kind of guesstimate. You're looking at this month expiration, or are you looking at this Friday's? Probably this Friday, aren't you? Because I'm seeing a lot of open interest for sure there, but I'm not seeing 100,000 that you're seeing here. What strike price are you looking at there? Let's see. I'm not seeing that 100,000 shares. Are you looking further out? Because 100,000 open interest is going to be quite significant there. Yeah, I don't think that Hertz is going to pay a dividend. I don't think Hertz is going to be around. Like, it's not going to be the same Hertz. They're going to be going to Chapter 11 and being restructured, most likely, potentially get rid of a lot of fat. They're going to have to sell a lot of cars. They're going to have to get rid of different things. They might become more regional. They might just do particular airports. I don't know. That's what the bankruptcy court and those guys figure out. They're not options. Okay, sorry. You're talking about shares. That the bankruptcy court has to figure out on what is selling, what's coming through. It's going to be restructured. It's going to be bought by a private equity fund. Who knows? Things like that. Did you guys post what you brought for your snack? No one posted anything snacks. Oh. Let's see here. I want to check one more thing on my other screen here. Yeah, I got crushed by the Nasdaq today. So to give you, I posted something on YouTube where I said that I got crushed by the Nasdaq this morning, pretty bad. I was literally trying to fight the trend. I'll tell you exactly when. It was literally at this point at 6 o'clock where I said, wow, if it breaks this Bollinger Band and it continues breaking the 200, I'm going short. I went short, it dropped a little bit, and then you just never know. I don't have a crystal ball, anything like that. I should just name this video I lost $400. That I broke through here and it just continued to run. I thought it was going to hold a little bit, maybe around the 21.34, and then kind of break back down and hold this whole 200 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. It didn't. It just kept on running. I got out once, then I was really hard-headed and I got in again for little points, but then it opened up and it just zigzagged. Of course, waiting for the Fed, and I wasn't going to wait for that. But this was someone, I'm sure a lot of people made a lot of money. A lot of people lost a lot of money. Dang, that's nice, Thomas. I love that. What's Grizzly Wintergreen? Is that chew? Is that chewing tobacco? Grizzly Wintergreen. That sounds like chewing tobacco or something. I'm having bacon in a roll. That sounds fantastic, Thomas. Lost. Let's look at, did you guys see that the movement in Apple today, like on top of literally jumping up $10? Like, this is a company that barely is going, is literally just going to the moon. Like, this is an early sign of potentially overbought. As you can see today that we hit the RSI red line here, meaning this doesn't mean it's going to be an instant short. That just means it's going to be coming on our radar to identify potentially the potentially see a steep decline if things don't continue going as the way it is, or be continue trading sideways. Because you can see here, the RSI, it turned red, but the momentum and overall moving averages are still pointing up, with the volume oscillator going up as well. As you can see here, we can kind of rewind here a little bit. This is right before the overall crash of this year that we hit the same kind of numbers here, which kind of just made the overall stocks just kind of continue trading sideways until we got that reversal when the 5 and 8 started crossing through the 21, and then we got that really steep selling, and the volume oscillator just fell out of nowhere, and it just completely went to crap on the daily chart, and just continues seeing that onward selling going down. Yeah, I wanted to do more like streams, because I get quite a few questions, and since a lot of folks are not able to make the one on Sundays, I try to make the ones during the week, so I can kind of get a little bit more intimate with you guys, to have that snack, to have that nice hydration or drink with you guys, and just talk some stocks. Again, Apple is just a monster here. It broke through that price target that we initially had on it. The other day we made that video, we had that price target right over here. Actually, did we have it over there? Yeah, I think I set it around here, this price. I might have put it lower on the potential of it going to become a magnet to this price target right up here. And that's not very far off, let's be honest with you. Yeah, that's actually one that's hurting me as well. It actually is hurting me quite a bit. That thing, I might have to roll those, the AAXN, to roll those to a further date, or just close it out and try to re-tackle that position, because I think my overall assumption of the overall protest and everything wasn't going to be as severe as it got. It literally, the whole world got involved and everything, which is great. But for the overall, what we're talking about here is this has literally just kind of increased the awareness of this company. And that being said, a lot of people are just going to be buying in for that quick buck and kind of riding this up, because again, the volume is somewhat significant here. Even those first couple days, we are not really petering out either too, so that's my only concern here. Again, hitting nearly at 105, it was very painful. It's still painful to hold this. I'm gonna have to probably close that out. I'm gonna look here in a second on my account. Let's see what it's at. But this is something that it's going to be a difficult one to hold, even though I might give it to the end of this week and see how it goes, because it's just really kind of continue to kick higher. I thought at this point that the RSI would be in the red and kind of giving early signs of being overbought and a potential reversion to the mean, or some kind of reversal, or the FOMO folks are getting out of it to potentially start getting some downward pressure. That has not been the case at all, and this is the one I kind of missed it on this one for sure. Yeah, I think it's a tough one. Yeah. What expiration did you get? I got mine. I got mine further out, so I have a little bit of time. I think so too. I think this is going to be, with on top of other things, I think this could be a potential reversal as well. But it has jumped higher than I thought. I didn't know it was going to actually break through 100. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but breaking above 100 and then potentially trying to get short it, because I went short it around 97, I believe, and I sold the $100 call for that, and that I thought it was potentially going lower. Oh yeah, you're further out than actually me. I think I only have I have like maybe the August ones. Yeah, you're further out. You're all the way in September, so you might have some time on yours for sure. Yeah, that's I thought, again, you were much more potent and more intelligent than I was, and giving yourself a lot more time. I gave myself, I think it was 50 or 55 days at the time, and it wasn't great. Mohammed, can you review, and oh yeah, we can do is that Norwegian? NCLH. So Norwegian Cruise Line. So again, with all the airline companies, all these things like that, a lot of people were jumping into these things just to get that quick buck. So this is what we're talking about here. So it kind of hit the RSI up here with the overall volume oscillator peaking out, and it's kind of just making an overall reversal, looking for support. If it continues going lower, potentially to at or below the 1780, 1790 level. Let's see here. So looking for some overhead resistance. Again, the 200-day on the daily chart is quite a ways off. That's at like $33 there. Not saying it can't reach it, but it's going to be a little bit of a longer upward projection and problems ahead. But that being said, I want to kind of look at this particular chart here. Yeah, looking for initial support. Again, if it comes out of 21, the parabolic SAR dots are still below it, which is a good sign. I just don't like this really steep decline in the volume oscillator and the RSI. This could just kind of be a reset, potentially again coming down to that 21. The thing is as well, if it's looking like it might close still above the 8 exponential moving average, which is still a good sign of some upward movement or projection to have that steam or that energy to continue going higher. But you do see the 5 and 8 kind of stalling out in the sense of just trending sideways. This has been a pretty significant move for this company. Again, it had this gap up here, and this gap has somewhat been filled to this long wick here, has kind of filled this gap, lack of better words. So this could just be kind of just trading sideways, people sitting on their hands and waiting to see what happens moving forward. I hope that helped you, Mir Mohammed. You're not a big I always prefer to go longer too, I promise you. I was just a little bit of hard-headed when I decided to get in at that price. I thought I let my emotions honestly get the better of me on that one for sure. Another stock that we actually got into as well is Costco. What expiration do you have there, Mohammed? What call strike? Man, I think Thinkorswim is acting really funky. It's not like it's being super slow right now. Come on, Costco. That's crazy. Yeah, it looks like there's some crazy volume coming into the market right now because my Thinkorswim's like not working. Let's see if a different. Okay, these charts are over here loading. This is actually kind of my new setup that I've been kind of working on here. Is this particular chart a little bit more clean to kind of give people. Oh, you bought the 29. Oh, okay. That's kind of far out there. So you're expecting next month for it to get to $30. Anything can happen, but that's a very far out of the money thing. What are you talking about, Noah? Who's the exercise caution for what? Again, so Costco has kind of been one that's kind of been again in the headlines a lot. Oh, Robert, yeah, you're having issues too. Yeah, it's definitely again in between like that like 9 to 10. There's been a huge lag sometimes in toss, and then of course the 3 to 4, especially when the Fed talks and things like that. It just really just dampers everything. For Costco, this is kind of a new. I bought some shares of this today. I kind of like the overall pattern here. We kind of get these really kind of. I don't like this pattern over here, but I do like the consolidation we've seen with the potential movement higher. We do see the support around the 21 and the 34 for a potential kick higher. Again, the support's going to be kind of coming in around the 144. This is a somewhat of a different plan of attack. Oh, really? Okay, server can't be found. That sucks. Again, like RH is not the only company that has problems. So the only thing is kind of good is that my Tastyworks, where all my main day trade or not day trades, my swing trades and the ones I really trade quite rapidly, all fall into the Tastyworks platform. So, and I haven't had many issues with that at all. So that's the reason why when people ask me what do I use to trade, I just say Tastyworks is just really good. Buying BA. Okay, BA got pretty slammed the last day or two, right? Yeah, it kind of hit this 144, which is a Fibonacci number. It kind of just petered out there. I think the 200-day was around 250. I've kind of started using this different chart to kind of look at things for potential reversal and things like that. It's looking like this pressure here. The only thing is when you see a stock with quite a few gaps in their chart like this, they normally, not always, they always have to kind of come back and fill that gap. They have to, like, it's kind of like it's not a musty, but it's something that kind of needs to happen to kind of fill that gap, to kind of get that hole out of the way. Looking for overall still strong upside, because if it still holds the 8 exponential moving average, it closes above it, that's still somewhat of a hold. It could just be trading sideways. Again, we're really waiting on a lot of news to come out for the potential servicing and the flight of the Max 8. So I think this was kind of cooked in here a little bit too much, and the goose got cooked a little bit more. And again, you see multiple things here. The TTM squeeze hasn't switched to dark blue yet, but the RSI has hit the overbought, which we kind of see here, represented here, and then kind of sold off a little bit. But again, it can sell off a little bit, and as long as it holds the 8, that overall trend is still somewhat intact. He's got it. CDLX. CDLX. So I want to see if my chart's loading for this one. Okay, there we go. CDLX. I don't even know what this is. So, so this one's kind of just kind of, I want to say petering out. It's just kind of slowing down because it kind of slowed down here. It's still above the 8 exponential moving average. The parabolic SARs are still below it. The overall trend is still somewhat intact. It's just looking like it wants to trade sideways. But once we start seeing the tick or the wick start closing below the 8 and the parabolic SAR kind of get on top of it, we could see some downward pressure to around 86 here. We're going to put that alert there. Again, for upside potential, we're going to just go to our lovely Fibonacci's. I want some figs. Around $90 potentially. Again, this is also interesting that the 618 is also coming in right around the 5 and 8 exponential moving average, so there could be some also very strong support coming in there. Again, looking for overhead resistance around $90 if the stock continues to get up and move. I'm not seeing any earnings on the horizon. So this could be just somewhat a sleeper. So yeah, that's basically what some of the stocks that I've been looking at. It's just been quite crazy. Look at Nasdaq up 200 points, guys. Oh my gosh, this is insane. What is going on here? Look at this. This thing just cutting through, just like butter. That is insane. Yikes. Look at that. This is where I saved my butt again. I got out right about here and this took off. It's breaking well out of the deviation channels. I want to see this on a daily side. Okay, so this is interesting on this chart. Let's see here. This is basically coming down to the limits of the green is 1, the purple or pink is 2, and red is 3. Those are the different deviations for the potential movement. Most stocks and most ETFs and whatever trade between the 1 and 2, but once it starts breaking out to the 3, we could be getting some very steep upside movement. And once it starts breaking about the 3, because it can ride the 3 for some time, for a really long time before it comes back. As you can see here, it can kind of pop out and come back to basically that's the 21 exponential moving average here in the middle. So this could potentially kind of come back, and if it starts selling off, the 950.43 would be the same limit of the overall support if it comes coming down. What do you think of the unusual options activity on TDC, the national value of those options? I don't even know what that company is. Let's look at it. TDC. So I'm not sure what the company does, and I don't know that much knowledge about fundamental on what the company's worth. The national value of those options. Again, so it looking like it's still an overall downward trend. It's kind of I want to be calling this building a base. As you can see here, it's been kind of having issues even getting above the 200 exponential moving average on the daily side. So that's going to be your really strong overhead resistance. The volume oscillator is really printing extremely high. But the same thing, at the same time, the RSI is nowhere near the 80 print. So this could be potentially still somewhat of a runner, potentially into the 200 exponential moving average. But that being said, it looks like we're seeing some pressure today, but it is up 7%, potentially seeing, again, the $200 or 200 exponential moving average, and then down to the 21 to 34 as well here around the 22.12 level. What do you think about AMD today? They are heading, I feel like it's a tunnel getting ready to burst either way. Also, earnings report next week. AMD has earnings next week? No, they don't. They just had earnings. Are we talking about the same stock there? It has a 2.4 billion market cap. I don't know what the company does, so I don't normally look at the fundamental analysis on market cap or PE ratios and things like that. I don't think those work for me as a technical trader. Tesla at 1022. Gosh darn it. So AMD. So we are in this stock. We have been in it. We kind of talked about it on the last stock talk on Sunday, saying that we didn't really like some of this activity here and kind of was been spooling up, but we said that we wanted the 50-day kind of to hold this line here, and it has paid off quite a bit here, thank God, because my Nasdaq shorting, I was like a monkey with a keyboard, and it kind of took off yesterday, and then a huge gap up today for potential pushing higher. I'm looking for at least $60 potentially. As the overall market can continue to push higher, I think especially with the PlayStation announcement coming out tomorrow, I think that this would get people more excited, and since that Sony is probably not the best stock to buy due to the fact that it's just so diversified with so many different industries. I think people are going to look at some of the components that make that PlayStation 5 up and then start nibbling at those different stocks. And I think that AMD is ripe for the picking for that due to the fact of it being the processor for both. You bought it for me. Oh, pray for you. Okay. Well, prayer is not a strategy there, Noah. I hope you have a stop loss and then an exit for your trade there. For Tesla, that is. I'm going to take a quick look at Tesla here. Wow, 1023. Wow. Exactly. That's the key point there. Great key point there, makeshift player. That it's literally you're buying at the high, like lack of better words. Not meaning that it's going to come crashing down. We just don't know. It has gapped up. Tesla has a lot of momentum behind it. We're still waiting on that darn battery day that's been promised multiple times, but again, due to the virus and the pandemic and slowdown of different things, it's kind of been pushed to the side for potential other things that are coming into play here. All right, that being said, like price target at 11.35 seems pretty juicy for Tesla to see if it can print into that. But again, it's been moving so much. I don't want to hit some pounding on some wood to let you know that in the short term things could be extremely irrational and then not have the complete common sense of what people think could happen, because the RSI is getting fairly close to the overbought. I mean, when it was printing red, and that's usually the first line or first indication that we could be seeing another boost higher, and then we could see some leveling off. I'm not sure if they're starting on semi stuff yet. I haven't heard that. I'm just more like we can take a look at Nikola. Like I think they're down today, right? Yeah, they're down 15%, nearly $12. This is the thing I don't understand. Like I feel like so. This is a 4-hour chart of Nikola. So we're looking for a potential if it can hold the 63 level. Here again, there's not that much information out there, and that we wouldn't say we're betting on, but the stock has literally ran up so much, and so many people got burnt. You can see how large this candlestick is here, and so many people got burnt and really got hurt in this stock for this huge run up. Like people just thought this is going to be the new Tesla. I'm not sure that people have diamond hands here, lack of better words, on holding this stock for the long term like someone in Tesla, because there hasn't been too much of the proving grounds yet, especially with Tesla. It took them years to prove the technology, and once their cars got on the roads and things like that. Oh yeah, I can't even imagine. I'm not even like the options chain. And Nikola is, yeah, I want to short Nikola too, but yeah, the $1,000 for the 40s put, and that's expiring in 37 days. Like that's crazy, absolutely insane. But I want to see on some pretty large options activity happening here. Let's see what it comes up with. Loading. Okay, it looks like someone bought the 35 call for most likely going to be a trade. They did a trade for that 35 call, but 4.4 million. Again, that's most likely a trade because the delta is so high. Usually, when people have the very high delta or the very deep in the money calls or puts, they're literally just trading for minutes, an hour, or the day, because they don't want to really hold that overnight, because that's a pretty large position there for sure. And especially with a stock like this, they're bought this 1,400 calls at 35, looking for their, maybe it looks like they're playing a bounce, but who knows what they're doing. Interesting observation though. That being said, again, if there's breaking below the 64 level with the 5 and 8, kind of start crossing over. See, the 5 already kind of crossed the 8. That's nothing too significant, but once you start seeing the 5 and 8 start crossing through the 21 with the parabolic SCRs dropping as well, this could be a continuous downward pressure for this market, and Nikola could let's just be honest, like, they had the audacity to call their company Nikola Motors. Like, that's the funny part. A couple other things, stocks that I've been looking at here is J&J, Johnson & Johnson. Let me go back to the daily chart here. Johnson & Johnson, so this one has also been in a very tightly wound scenario here. Kind of familiar with this, really between the 5, 8, and 21, kind of spooling up for a potential move here, looking for the volume oscillator to kick higher. RSI is trying to kick higher. It's been in a squeeze for a little bit. The parabolic SAR has just switched. This could be an indication for a potential, I won't say a breakout because it's Johnson & Johnson, but another test to potentially test its short-term high around 153. And in this particular case, I just sold some puts that are about 45 days out around the, I think I did the 145-ish level, 145-ish level for just to collect a little bit of premium. Again, giving myself some more time to see what happens there. Yeah, no, again, I don't think anyone, the thing is too, is like, I just find it strange that they came out with a truck, a pickup truck, that is going to try to rival the Cybertruck. And there hasn't been too many stats out there yet. There hasn't been, I know they're doing a live, like, some kind of conference or some kind of, like, town hall, like, live stream or something at their Nikola World or whatever they called it at the end of this month, I believe, or next month. But yeah, TDK. Did we just look at that? No. You sure TDK is correct that it's not loading? Again, it could just be super slow on the Thinkorswim side. Not seeing anything come up there. It's just spinning. Let me see if it loads on another chart. Sometimes it does that. No, it's not loaded. Sorry. Another one that I was looking at too was Chegg. Chegg, basically the company that does the overall, like, college books, renting the digital versions, and now they're really more diverse in a lot of other things that revolve around helping students, and especially with so many people working and having school at home, potentially seeing on what's happening. I kind of like this play to the long side. We kind of see a potential spool up here. We see the 5 and 8 kind of leveling off here. It's closed below 21 quite a bit, but it has kind of come into the 34 for onward support to kind of give it that big hug that it needs to continue for some higher prices here, to potentially see, not test the all-time highs, but just try to start seeing it break above the 21 here. It looks like it might close above the 21 today, which is a little fantastic sign there. Actually, we're going to do some live trading here. So I want to show you how I would analyze this. The only concerning thing is that this TTM squeeze look like it could fire short, which I'm not a big fan of, and it has this huge gap up here due to the fact of that it had a huge earnings boost, and it's just kind of been ever since then. It rose up a little bit, now it's been trading sideways, which I kind of like for another potential push higher to that $67 to $68 level. So we're gonna look at this here real fast here. Let me make sure. See this, see that. Go here. Alright, so this is on Tastyworks here. This is what I use for all my trainings and different things like to execute things. Yeah, no, I'll look at it here just 1 second, my friend. So we're going to be pretty mindful of this trade. So we're just going to, let's see what they have. These options are probably not the most liquid here. Looks like they have, okay, it's interesting. I kind of want to sell something. The 34 is around 56, so it's kind of a bet there. Let's see what this does. Go here. Pop is 35. I'm not a fan of that. You're buying Coca-Cola and Bank of America. Yeah, as Bank of America, a lot of the bank stocks have been hit, haven't they? What does this look like? This is going to be pretty... Yeah, I don't like that. I might do this here. I'm going to see if I can get filled on this sucker. I'm going to sell this. Let that work. See if that happens. I'm going to put that in. Boop, right there. Kind of keep that on a short leash. Selling some premium in that. Looking for another push higher there. So let's look at Noah. Wanted to look at Ttd Cable. What in the world is that, my friend? Ttd Okay. What is this? I don't know what this company does, but on the chart looks quite interesting. There's quite a few gap ups, gap downs, so this probably has to do something that's leveraged to something. Looking for, it's been trading the 5 and 8 exponential moving average for quite some time, moving on this whole way up. And that, again, last 2 days here, we kind of see some sideways action here. Kind of want to see support if it comes back down to the 21 and potentially breaks through this 96 level here. So it does electronics, okay. For the overall, okay, I see what you're saying. So looking for the 96 for downward support. Again, this overhead resistance is going to be quite heavy because we do have a gap here. At the 105, looking for a potential break above that for a potential upside there. So this is kind of going to give you somewhat of a roadmap and some lines here. RSI has been flat, kind of getting into the higher end. This could be an early sign of a potential last push higher and then kind of selling off. But I don't know exactly what is happening. This right now, it looks pretty good. It just has kind of been stalled out. Again, with the overall market, this could be continue a great mover higher for sure. I kind of want to look at some banks. Yeah, let's look at some banks. Let's look at Bank of America and Wells Fargo. We got mentioned. BAC. Yeah, what the hell? They got 5% today, 6% nearly. Again, failed here at the 200-day. It's closing below. It's not failed, but it's having some overhead resistance here at the 200. So we're gonna create this to kind of see if we can break above that. Again, downward support is going to be around 25 if Bank of America continues coming down. If they are able to get to that level, I would like to add to it, create an order for that. I do think that's a pretty good idea there. Whoever is into the bank stocks, I think there's going to be a recovery in the banks for sure. Just in the short term, might be seeing some headwinds. Yeah, so Bank of America used to be a really highly priced stock. So close your eyes real fast, and then I want to throw the chart up during the financial crisis on what Bank of America used to trade, and I used to trade that. So Bank of America used to be around 55. I think it actually was more back in the day. Okay, it was 55 was his all-time high. Sorry, I thought it was like 65, 70. Of course, ever since the financial crisis, has had a heck of a time to ever recover from it. Even though literally it came down to $2.53. I remember buying it around, I think it was $10 or $11, and just holding it for, I think it was years and years, until I had this pop up higher, and I sold it like at 22. I thought I was the smartest person in the world when I did that. And then it's just kind of been trading well above here. This is a monthly chart, to be mindful of that. Been trading, went up, kind of then been trading sideways, and then of course with this whole slew of issues kind of coming back down. Key level here, I kind of want to see this break above the 21 here on the monthly chart. If you're super long term, there is a squeeze kind of piling up here on the monthly chart, which a lot of charts are having a very spool-like squeeze scenario coming on board for a potential movement. I think the banks section, especially since the financial crisis, have just been kind of under fire, and they're not the most lucrative bets in the business, but they pay a nice dividend. Again, they're bank stocks, so they're not really a Tesla Motors that are trying to redo the car market and do solar panels and things like that. They're banks. Like, there's nothing sexy about it, unless you find numbers and interest rates and mortgages sexy, which some people do. Yeah. So yeah, bank stocks, which is interesting. So I did get an alert on XLF this morning that it sold off. I'm sorry, let me go back to the daily side. That it sold off today. Again, this is kind of in representation to what we're looking at Bank of America, that it kind of just sold off. But it's nothing too severe yet. It's just kind of just pausing around the 200-day exponential moving average, looking for, again, to kind of be trading in around the 200-day. Normally, it takes a little bit to kind of, again, this is a pretty significant move that we've had in the banking industry to get up to this level. I think if it comes down lower to like the 24, 25, or in around the $21 exponential moving average, it's definitely very attractive. Makeshift, you had Wells Fargo, right? So we can kind of look at that one as well. This one has not been performing as well as Bank of America or the overall ETF in the banks, because it's nowhere near its 200 exponential moving average yet. That being said, this has kind of been the one that's kind of been riddled with scandals, with the overall fake accounts, and not fake accounts, they weren't fake, the people didn't know they had those accounts, and then just the manipulation of some of their issues within that. That being said, we're looking here at a lot of overhead resistance around 33.50, you want to call it. That's kind of where it's kind of petered out there. Again, it's kind of losing its momentum here, looking for that 21 to kind of come in to kind of give it a hug and some support, so it can continue to potentially level off or continue higher. Again, it's going to be coming around the $28 level. How far out did you get to get those options? You said you bought 2022. I think you said 2022, so it's only one option's available. Yeah, it's insane. There's a lot of activity there for sure. Because if you bought you can do investment for like $300, and you buy like the 40 or the 37. Excuse me, I almost sneezed there and I yawned. So $300 potentially, if the stock continues going higher, moves $5, $6, $7, $8, that could literally double your money. And if it continues going higher, you could do a lot very well, because once that option gets in the money, that delta is going to be substantially higher, and that overall move within the market is going to continue going higher. Deutsche Bank. Yeah, what are they doing? Like, they are riddled with scandals too, aren't they? So many. Is DB Deutsche Bank? Holy moly, what is going on? What scandal? Are they manipulating the? This is crazy. That they're substantially better than almost any banking stock right now. What the heck is going on here? They are performing substantially better their stock, looking for downward support around $8.60-ish cents. We look at that. It's kind of failing here at the 78 percentile move here, around $9.80. Looking for that move to around the $11.15 up here with Deutsche Bank, but I really don't want to touch that because it is definitely riddled with issues and God knows whatever else they're doing over there at Deutsche Bank with crime or whatever. Any more stocks out there you guys want to look at? Any more suggestions or so forth? We kind of covered the Apples, we covered the AMDs, we did the ServiceNow, we did the Teslas, we did the Nikola Motors, we did that. We do have, I wanted to cover Adobe, my bad. Adobe is one that's reporting, we'll do Adobe and Lululemon, yoga pants, that are reporting tomorrow after the bell. Adobe, just been straight, just killing it. Like, they're up $10 today. We kind of said that it was continue going higher because this momentum right here between the 5 and 8 and the 21 has been so strong, and just continue writing up this pattern here, looking for ongoing movement. And if an issue does come about on earnings, looking for that 21, which is around 382, 380 to come in for support on the way down, and then we'll look from there. And then we can do Lulu. We got about 3 minutes left of trading, and yeah, there we go. So Lulu is kind of the same thing. It's kind of petered out the last 2 or 3 days. Again, reporting after the bell tomorrow. It has hit the RSI quite high. It could just be trading sideways, waiting for earnings to coming out. This could be a pretty substantial move there as well. LADR. I don't know what this does, but it's a capital group, so it's probably something to do with banking and financing. I think you talked about this one the other day too. I remember looking this up and having the exact same question. Kind of, again, you're seeing that 618 coming in lined up with the 200-day, so that's going to be some overhead resistance there. It literally failed at the 50% retracement there from the swing high to swing low. Don't like to see that. Looking like it's coming off. The parabolic SAR has switched to the top now, so we're looking for potential support here at the 21, potentially coming into the 34. So I want to kind of put that in the middle, so around $8 for some downward support. Both volume and RSI and momentum has switched. Again, that's also due by the parabolic SAR dot here as above. What's Panasonic stock ticker? Michael says NSRP. NSRP. Am I doing this right? NSRP. Yeah, it's not loading. Is this a US traded company? And then makeshift for Panasonic is PCRFY. Sammy, we can look at BK in 1 second. Yep. So Panasonic, there's a bell. Market is closed, or options are closed now. Futures still open. Might take a quick break here. What a day. Whew. I got beaten over the head today. All right. Let's see here. So we want to look at Panasonic. Let's go here. Swing high to swing low. Wow, look at that. Make sure you see that. So it literally hit at 618 there directly and failed, and now potentially could be coming back to the 50-day or the 50 exponential moving average, or sorry, the 50 percentile move, but then also with the 221 kind of coming in here, potentially seeing some support, I want to call strong support, or level 1 really strong support around the 860 level there. Sammy, let's look at BK. Okay, if I can type. Is that booking? Oh no, it's not booking. The Bank of New York. All right, this is kind of similar to like the bank stocks we just recently looked at. Kind of failing here at the 200-day exponential moving average. Nothing too crazy going on selling or going really negative. Could be potentially kind of going lower. Slight reversion to the mean to maybe come to the 21 around 38. Kind of could be trading sideways here for another move to kind of get that steam of momentum to break above the 200-day here. To break above the 200 and kind of close above it. Due to the banks kind of being slapped around today, we can kind of see a potential slowdown or until we start seeing the overall movement of everything going through. Michael says NSPR. Okay. NSPR. Okay. Oh, come on, dude. I can't trade this. What is this thing? This is... I can't trade this. Sorry. I can't. It looks like it wants to break out, but it breaks my rules. I don't really touch stocks under $2 or $3. I don't like to touch stocks around the $2 or $3 level, but this is something I honestly can't look at, and it just brings me back so many issues that I've had in the past with penny stocks. That's how I got started trading, was penny stocks, because I thought I could make quick bucks, but it's not. Grubhub deal at 70 a share. Is that what came out? Bought 25 last minute. Piton. Yes, Robert, we can do that. Piton. Are you I'm gonna guess you're shorted? Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. It looks like the 21 has come in here quite substantially to help Piton. I thought this would have sold off due to the overall everyone at home and just kind of yeah, sorry, Michael, I wasn't able to help you with that stock. I thought it was a stock that I could kind of give more information on, and to be quite honest with you, with the penny stocks, it's the technical analysis is very difficult to break out because you're talking such low margins, and then you're talking about the overall I won't say manipulation, but if volume just comes in here, it can just completely skew everything up. So with Piton, again, that 21's been really strong with support. We are seeing the volume oscillator and RSI just kind of hanging out, chilling. We're seeing a potential squeeze build up here. No earnings on its horizon. This is quite interesting, hitting a high of around basically 50 bucks. It's going to be some overhead resistance there overall, looking to try to break that. We had a target here to get break lower. If you're in it, Roberts, like, who was it? Yeah, Robert. So if you're in it, definitely look for some overhead pressure around 50, and if it starts selling off, looking for kind of, it could break below it, but if it starts closing below the 21, that could be, it's basically could be a reset, because this looking again, ever since its earnings and so forth, it's just been kind of the 21 for the last month and a half has been very strong. Zoom, yes. You can do Zoom. Zoom has been luckily, I'm not short this because if I was, I would hold all my little bit of hair I have left out. Again, this looks somewhat a little bit more aggressive than we just looked at Peloton. That we can see that the 5 and 8 exponential moving average has been coming in here ever since its earnings. Like, this is literally a new word in the vocabulary of people of like, hey, let's do a Zoom meeting. Hey, or just like, I kind of give that same example of it's like, just Google it. Let's just have a Zoom meeting. It's literally ingrained into our culture, and I think it's going to be there for quite some time, even though there is a multitude of other options out there and so forth. Their technology is good, it's fantastic, but it's, yeah. That being said, it's just on everyone's on their mind. So looking for potential movements here. We can kind of see here potentially if it comes back down to the 21. The 21 has been some support. I would kind of slightly move more to the 34 or 50 here because it is very volatile if it does come down. Looking at some potential 34 is going to be initially at like, we're going to call at like 175-ish potentially. If it does come down again, that overhead resistance to break out from its previous high, it most likely could be easily breaking out with the overall market continue going higher. JP already up $2 after the market bought them on the dip. Yeah, bank stocks did get really beaten up today. I think in the short term we could be seeing trading sideways or potentially slightly lower poison. Then we can also look at last one we can look at JP Morgan, and then we look at JFIN. I never heard of that either. JFIN. What is this? What in the world? Yeah, they did something today. That's a FOMO trade. That's 100% algorithmic trading. Looks like they have earnings tomorrow before the market, so people are trying to get some of their trading options in and something like that. I have no clue on what they do. It closed above the 200-day exponential moving average. Yeah, I have nothing to add to this one. If you just look out through its overall cycle, it's just been very much beaten down. Has had a spike up before earnings before, but this kind of came back. So I really have nothing to add here. I'm sorry. Is it JPM? Is it JPM? JP Morgan? Yeah, JP Morgan Chase. Again, this looks just like the Bank of America, just a different company putting on it. Looking for, again, buying the dip. Yeah, it's been holding the 5 and 8 exponential moving average quite some with the overall movement. Again, failing here slightly at the 200-day exponential moving average for a potential kick higher. If it does continue going lower, the key signs to be looking at this is this squeeze right here. It has start printing the dark blue. It can print the dark blue. It can be trading sideways. I think this could just be kind of hanging around the 200-day exponential moving average and kind of waiting for some of the moving averages to kind of catch up some more for a potential push higher. That being said, if it does start coming down fast, the first level of support is going to be basically at 100, which is, again, where the 21 kind of comes into. Some upside potentials, again. This stock has been quite astonishing in the sense of some movement. Looking for, again, failed exactly at the 618 here on the spring high. We kind of need to break above that 115 without a doubt. That 115 is broken out and we start getting above the 200-day exponential moving average. We could be seeing some higher prices at 126 as well. And I hope that was helpful, my friend. If there's any more comments or questions down below, we'll definitely do another live stream potentially on Friday to kind of wrap up things. Oh, makeshift, really? $5? Thanks, man. I appreciate the support, my friend. And we'll potentially do another live stream on Friday to kind of catch. I'm going to put out I kind of did this on short notice. If I put it out tonight or tomorrow, to kind of give people some time to see that kind of pop up on their radar, to see if they start joining here. And if this was helpful to you, please let me know. And if you have any more questions or comments, things like that, please go ahead and jump over to our fantastic Discord there. We have really cool people, a lot of the friendly environment in the sense of people sharing ideas, talking about different trading things, all kinds of great things. It's really fun. It's a great thing that people enjoy trading. I can talk about trading for hours until my voice goes. Thank you guys again for joining. I really do appreciate it. Check out some more videos be coming out, and really do appreciate it. Thanks again, Makeshift Player. Really do appreciate that. Again, guys, go ahead and just join the Discord if you like. And again, we'll do the traditional live stream on Sunday as normal, potentially having another live stream around 3 o'clock on Friday for some more trades. And I might be kind of coming in with some 4 or 5 different trading ideas, a little bit more longer term, rather than some day trades that we've kind of seen the last week or two, with a lot of folks really focusing on day trading rather than some longer term investments. And that's where I think my technical analysis shines a little bit more, with longer term swing trading rather than some really quick day trades. That being said, guys, thank you so much for coming again. Makeshift, thanks for the $5 again. Robert, thank you for joining. Everyone else has joined, and really do appreciate it again. Guys, take it easy. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.